What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I'm coming to you guys with some more boxing, of course. It's time for me to. I've been waiting for this opportunity to finally talk to you guys about the upcoming fight this weekend between Tony Bellew and Oleksandr Usyk. I had to do my research on it, because I wanted to give you guys a fair assessment of what I think because, just looking at that fight, I'm like, oh, no, okay, that's Usyk. You know what I mean? But I want to give everyone a fair shake. So, I sat down and I looked at, of course, the Bellew, Hay 1 and 2, along with other fights in Usyk when he was in that, the tournament, of course, where he obtained all those belts. Let me see. That's going to be a good fight, man. I think that, people are just kind of ruling Tony Bellew out too quickly because in both Hay fights, he didn't supposed to make it this far. You know what I mean? And, that's, he's the Creed star, of course, but, he wasn't financially stable. So David Hay actually made him where he was or got him where he was financially, but it was a total upset because I had Hay knocking him out. I'm like, hey, nah, I don't even see that. Tony Bellew coming up from where he was coming up from to heavyweight, nah, won't happen. Cruiserweight, nah, won't happen. Any division, I didn't see him beating, either cruiserweight or heavyweight. I didn't see him beating Hay, and he proved me wrong, and mind you, Tony Bellew could have retired. He could have retired after those two fights, but he didn't. He didn't retire because he wanted to go after those belts. This is more for legacy. It's not for finance, right? For finance, he's already made his mark, right? He's set. He's good. He's comfortable. But he's doing this for all the belts because this is the one time it's a perfect opportunity for him to get all the belts at one time. It's a one-stop shop for him. You know what I mean? And this is his last fight anyway. So if he can beat and upset Usyk, and I'm going to get to him in a minute, if he can do that, that would be him being the unified champion of the world and then call it a day. You know what I mean? So that would be a perfect ending to his career. That's like a John Elway in the Super Bowl series. You know what I'm saying? That's something along the lines of that because, and because this is his last fight, everyone expects him to lose. He's used to being an underdog, mind you. He's used to being an underdog. So it's like, okay, good. I've been here before. You know what I mean? So it's less stress. It's not more stress. It's more stress on Usyk because Usyk has better, further plans, in the future, because of course, after he gets through Tony Bellew, he wants to get to the King Joshua. You know what I'm saying? So that's his destination after that. Usyk is the favorite. He is a favorite for a reason, though. The guy can fight. He's like a giant version of Vasily Lomachenko. And that's a bold statement, but he is, they're friends, they're countrymen, they train together. He learns a lot of things. If you look at him, he waits in the pocket like Loma does, for the counter. So he anticipates your punch. You know what I'm saying? So it's more like, okay, someone that has that awesome amateur pedigree too with that. Coming from the southpaw stance, I don't know. I mean, because one thing, Usyk's going to come in shape. He's always in shape, Bellew has to be in shape because he's going to need to be in shape to weather the storm because I see him being outboxed the first part of that fight. If he can make it outside of the first part of that fight, I see this particular, I see this fight going, I see it going, hopefully going the distance. You know what I'm saying? Because I think Usyk just outboxes him. But, Bellew, his plan is good. I know he's going to outbox me. Usyk's plan is to be invisible. So he's going to spit shine. He's going to do a lot of, boxing things on a skill set level. You know what I mean? So he's going to keep Bellew guessing. But Bellew is a dog, man. He is a dog because he's like one of those guys that's going to keep coming. And he says, he's going to have to, he wants this to be a hard fight. So he anticipates a long, murky fight, win, lose, or draw. Okay. That's his thing, before he can retire. So that's his plan. If he wins, if he loses, he wants this to be a long dog fight, And he said that, of course, he's going to try to open up, and when he opens up, I think that's when Bellew will try to inflict pain with that thunder left hook and that hammer right hand, because those are his weapons. Tony Bellew has boxing ability too, so you can't just rule out that he doesn't have boxing ability. The only thing I question is how big of a speed factor will it be, because Usyk is the faster fighter. You know what I mean? He is the faster fighter coming from that southpaw stance. That's a question mark there. That's something that you have to see. We have to see ourselves and see how that will play into this fight. Styles make fights, of course. Everyone knows that. Another thing is, will Usyk overlook Bellew? Because Bellew is, he's on his way out. He's made his claim to fame, of course. And, when you always have someone in the backdrop, someone that you see in your future, you have to remember who's in your present. If you look at the Wilder Fury, or the Wilder Joshua rather, he still has to deal with Fury, before even thinking about Joshua. So he's making all these talks about him, but he has to worry about Fury first. So let's just hope to apply that to this situation. Let's just hope that Usyk doesn't do that. He has to become a tunnel vision with fighting Bellew, because Bellew is a guy that you overlook or you underestimate. He will take full advantage of that. You know what I'm saying? And he's a straightforward shooter. He says he wants to take Usyk's soul. He wants to take the best thing that Usyk has, and take that out of the equation. And he said when that happens, he's just a regular old Joe. So it's going to be a good fight, though, man. I look forward to it. Usyk, I think he's good in punching within the guard. So when his hands are up, or anyone's hands are up, he does it like Loma. He keeps you busy and he keeps you on defense mode to really land the punches that he wants to land. So let's say, for example, Usyk throws a 4-punch combination. That 5th punch will be the punch that he's targeting, not the punches that he's throwing. He's throwing the 4 punches just to keep you, keep you in a shell, or whatever you do, if whatever defense that you choose. He's going to keep you busy and occupied, or worried about those, or distracted rather. That's the word I'm looking for, with those punches that he's throwing. These, and all of these are throwaway punches, and then you're thinking the way he's throwing them, he's just patting them, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then that 5th one might be right up under the guard. Boom. And he catches a lot of guys with that right uppercut. He has a quick, sneaky right uppercut coming from a southpaw stance, and he catches you like that with it, because you're thinking he's trying to catch you with his straight left, and then, there's the right uppercut. So, Tony Bellew has to worry about those type of punches. Those throwaway punches, those decoy punches, those punches that distract you. Tony Bellew, he has to really punch within those punches too. You know what I mean? But that's where the speed comes in. So we have to determine that, because that's my thing. I'm like, okay, can Tony Bellew punch in between those punches, those throwaway punches? You know what I'm saying? Those distracted punches. Can he do it? Because if he can't keep up with the speed, the only thing he has to do is defend himself. And what he's going to do, put up those mitts. You know what I'm saying? I recommend you better go side to side, which Tony Bellew does know how to do, But it's a good fight, man. And everyone's looking at it like a 70-10 or 80-20 style fight in favor of Usyk. I look at it more like a 40-60. You know what I'm saying? I don't see it as that far-fetched if Tony Bellew upsets, because again, the pressure's not off of him. The spotlight's not off, not on him. Okay. It's off of him. So he's like, okay, cool. I want these guys to look at me. I think he likes being the underdog. It gives him a sense of power, empowerment, being the underdog. So, this fight is going to be a good fight, man. I can't wait to watch it. I can't wait to see it, and of course, when it ends, I'm going to give you guys my recap about the fight. You guys tell me how you feel about this video, about the fight study. Of course, please subscribe, and you guys been counterpunched. Peace.